Alright, hello everybody and welcome. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the aquatic experience and my experience at this convention. So it is a big aquarium convention. It takes place over one weekend in Chicago, that being Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. For the most part, it's just a really big convention. A whole bunch of big companies, famous people, whatever else you could say, different retail stores. It's kind of for everybody. So like if you're a pet store owner or something and you're looking for like a fish supplier, there's a couple booths there that did that kind of thing. There were a lot of famous YouTubers, as well as just a whole bunch of people that know a lot about keeping fish. What's really great about this convention in particular compared to other conventions is that there's a broad group of people that are there, and what I mean by that is there's people there that keep all kinds of fish tanks. There's saltwater, freshwater, planted freshwater, as well as ponds. There was a big pond thing set up in the middle of the entire convention. There was an aquascaping contest. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff, which is great, especially for people that are thinking about getting into aquariums, or maybe said I've had one a long time ago, or you don't know all the different things you can keep inside aquariums. So what's great about this convention is there's a lot of people there that knew a lot of stuff about fish, and people there usually specialize in something. So you have a guy that knows a whole bunch about shrimp, or knows a whole bunch about plants or corals, or whatever. Jellyfish. There's an entire thing, this one booth that's set up for selling these jellyfish tanks, which is really, really cool. So you get like the professionals of every aspect of aquarium keeping in one spot. So let's say you've been getting into cichlids or freshwater shrimp. You could not only buy these shrimp there, but you could talk to these really, really smart people, and you get a lot of information at these kinds of things. They had seminars, so they would invite these different people to give seminars about pretty much everything. Oliver Knott, who's a big aquascaper, one of the best out there now, he had a seminar. There was one about building ponds that I went and listened to, which was really, really nice. There's one about keeping freshwater shrimp from Shrimp USA. He did a seminar, which is really, really nice to see, because shrimp keeping is it's not as popular as I'd like it to be, and there was quite a few people that are listening in, which is really, really nice to see. So you kind of had a bit of everything there, and there were so many seminars you couldn't go to all of them. Like, it's impossible. You would never get to see everything else there if you went to all these seminars, which in a way is a good thing. In ways, I kind of want to see all this stuff. So why bother going? I mean, for me, I had to fly all the way up there and come all the way back and all that kind of stuff. Well, this was the first convention I've ever been to, and like I said, there's a whole broad group of different aquarium keepers there, which is really, really, really nice, because a lot of other conventions are very, I say specific. It's like the AGA, or the American Aquatic Gardeners Association, or something like that. They had a small booth there, but they have their own convention just for their thing, which is all about freshwater planted tanks. So it's a bit of a more narrow subject. Well, the aquatic experience is very, very large. Another big plus is that you can enter an aquascaping contest. Fluval does this. I guess they sponsor this competition, and there was a lot of really, really cool tanks. The convention itself is big. There's this huge room full of these huge fish tanks, and the thing is, these people are bringing in like huge tanks, like massive 100-gallon tanks, setting up with plants, setting up with corals, rocks, fish, and those tanks are being set up for 3 days, and that's it. And have to be out of there by Sunday. Which is crazy, because there's so much stuff there, and people put a lot of work into that kind of thing just for that one weekend. What's really cool is you also get to see a lot of other companies, or brands. it's really, really nice to see some of these, because a lot of these I've never heard of. And you get to speak directly to the people that know about their product. It's not like you go into a pet store and there being a giant wall of things you can look at, and then it's just like trying to figure out, is this any good? Is this any good? You're speaking right to the people, so they can tell you, this is good, and this is good, and this is what I recommend for you, and blah, 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 blah. So, which is really, really nice. Another thing is the YouTubers that are there. There's a lot of different YouTubers that show up at these events. They make their own videos, like, you know, you may have seen some of these. But you get to speak to a lot of these people directly, one-on-one. So you kind of get to see their YouTube videos, and then you can ask them questions and do all that kind of stuff, actually interact with them, which is really, really cool. One of my favorite things about it was the aquascaping contest. I mentioned this earlier, but it was really, really cool. You get to see a lot of these videos and pictures and all this stuff with these super beautiful aquascape tanks. But it's nothing like seeing them in person, up close, because I've never seen them like that. You see like the Amonoscapes and they're all over Knotscapes, and you get to see these real tanks. You get to see them aquascape. You get to see all these other competitions. You get to see the winners. You get to do all that kind of stuff. You get to talk with some of these people that set up these aquascapes. I talked to Rachel Leary a bit. She set up a 75, I think it was a 75 competition. It's like the big tanks, and they have the small nanocubes. But she set up one with her daughters and her, I think it was her friend or something. They ended up getting first place, which is really, really cool to kind of get to talk to her and, you know, talk about the fish that were in it, because she's a big nanofish person. I also got to talk to the person who helped set up the third place tank in the 75 category. And he was really, really nice. He knew a whole bunch. He was able to give me some pointers, because I do dirted tanks. This is a dirted tank. You know, I've been working on the aquascape for it, but I've never done anything with super high tech with CO2 and aqua soil or something like that, which I've thought about doing. So getting to talk with these people one-on-one was really, really nice, because you don't get that kind of interaction at a pet store. You know, how often are you gonna run into like Oliver Knott at a pet store and be able to ask him questions? You know, never. So it was really, really cool for that. This is a great convention to go to if you're new into fish tanks. You know, you're trying to get into it, you don't know what you really want to keep, or, you know, whatever, you know, just go to it. It's a lot of fun. You can learn a lot. There's a lot of really cool things there. They have raffles. You know, you can, I don't know what the money went to for the raffle tickets, but I imagine it's probably the convention or something like that. I wasn't really sure. Either way, it was a lot of fun. I actually did win something that was really, really cool. And it's just a whole lot of fun. There's a lot of people there. It's, you know, an entire convention full of people that, you know, are really into fish tanks. They're big hobbyists, and, you know, a lot of times you don't get to meet these people. Like for me, I've never really been in, you know, a place where I've been able to speak to a ton of these kinds of hobbyists that were really into it. So it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool things to see. A whole bunch of different, like, LED lighting systems were there, like different brands. Like, there was a ton of these LED lighting systems, and they weren't like, you know, the really crap ones that are just, you know, eh. They were like really nice LEDs, and just showed off all their new features and their light ranges, and it was just kind of a lot of fun to be able to see all this stuff in person. So I'm going to do a montage of my personal highlights. Unfortunately, because of the quantity of things there and just being like, oh my goodness, look at all these fish tanks, I kind of, you know, forgot to take as many pictures and videos as I would have liked to. But I did remember, and I was like, okay, I need to get a bunch of videos of my favorite tanks here so I can show them off later. So I'm going to do a montage of that. Might do some other highlights, I don't really know. I'm going to show off the things I brought home and kind of talk about that, because I did take some things back home with me on the plane, and I'll do some videos of that. Unfortunately, none of those things are in this tank right here, but I will be doing that so you can see everything I got, because, you know, there is a bunch of fish there, and you spend money at those things, and, you know, you want to support those people directly and take home cool things, because there was a lot of cool stuff there. But that's a video for another day. I'll be making a video about that. I'll be doing the montage, so keep a lookout for that. Check out my blog site. Link to that will be in the description of this video. As well, just have an awesome day, guys, and just, make it an awesome week. Bye.